Hi, I'm Roy Galitz and welcome to this field review of the new Nikon Z9 camera, which is gonna be interesting, so stay tuned, subscribe, like, and look for more. So, the first thing to notice about this camera is the body. So the body of the new Nikon Z9 is kind of the same of the Nikon D6, although it does have some advantages. First of all, it's lighter, it's a little bit smaller from this end. It still uses the same battery, the ENEL18D, which is the new higher capacity battery. It does have a very solid body, well built. 3 custom buttons here on the front. We have a lot of custom buttons here on the side, on the back, and you can program it to do whatever you want. One more thing about this camera is that the screen is it's tilted, and as you've seen in the teaser, it not only tilts up, but can also pivot and tilt from the vertical mode. It does feature 2 memory cards, 2 CF Express, which you should be using the fastest one. I'm using the SanDisk CF Express Extreme Pro at 1700 megabytes per second. The Viewfinder is OLED, 120 frames per second. It's really fast, it's really large, it's really cool. It's the best I've ever seen in a camera and actually delivers the best results possible. And the best thing about it, unlike the other cameras out there, it does not have a blackout, so it's always on thanks to the stacked CMOS sensor that we have. And the screen itself is quite large, you can touch it and do whatever you want with it, just like any other mirrorless camera. One more thing to notice about this camera, besides the body, is the speed. So this camera is blazing fast. The focus is fast, the reaction time is fast, and of course the shooting is rapidly fast as well. So we have 20 frames per second at full AF capabilities with raw shooting, and then it sounds like this. Yeah, that's a lot of photos. And we have even faster, so we can go 30 frames per second at JPEG only, and we can go even faster at 120 frames per second with JPEG small. So that delivers you with around 12 megapixels of results, but 120 frames per second, which is really fast. The focus system is the best I've ever seen in any camera. It has several focus modes, so you can shoot at spot, which is just a single spot. We can shoot at dynamic, and we have small, medium, and large dynamic, as it was in previous cameras. We have wide area small and wide area large, and that can also detect faces, animals, cars, vehicles, and whatever, and deliver quite accurate results. We have above that the 3D, which is something I didn't like in previous cameras, but here it performs really well while tracking the subject wherever you are, which I even used as instead of AFS, instead of single focus, I'm shooting always at AFC. So I just move the camera, point it on the animal, and then I move it around while the focus point stays on the same subject. So it's quite handy. And of course we have the auto mode. And the auto mode just selects the focus out of all the screen, out of all the sensor, and just selects whatever you chose, if you want animals, cars, or people. Thanks to the fact that it's a stacked CMOS sensor, there is no blackout, so the focus doesn't need to lose and refine the subject and never loses track of that. And so that comes down to a very effective and very smart focus system. So as for the focus system, while tracking a subject, you can just point it to the general area and the camera will follow it. As you can see here with this cheetah running after a gazelle, even when I had some wildebeest coming between me and the cheetah in the chase, the camera did lose focus for a fraction of a second and then regained it when the cheetah and the gazelle were back in the frame. So the focus is quite fast and reliable. Image quality is brilliant. It's 45 megapixels, so that's twice as much as the R3, the Canon R3, and it's the same resolution as the Nikon D850 and the Z7 II. That being told, it does seem a bit sharper and lower ISO noise when shooting in low light. The video quality is brilliant. So that's the first Nikon camera that shoots 8K 30 frames per second and 4K at up to 120 frames per second. And of course you can shoot also at 30 frames per second or whatever in between you like. So the video system is very good. It shoots at H.265, 10 bits, and I've been trying it out and got some incredible results. And not only that the video quality is better, but also the interface with the camera. That means that when you actually close or open the aperture, it doesn't jump like in the other cameras, but instead it gradually opens or closes, so the effect is not that visible with the viewer at the end result of the video. The focus system as well is quite good. You can also track your subject or detect animals, faces or vehicles in the same way you would with the stills photography. With connectivity, you can connect it to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, even has LAN, so you can connect your LAN cable right over here and connect it whatever way you want possible. You can even interface it with your phone, with the SnapBridge app, using the Auto Connect and control it and view it through your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever you want. So because it's a mirrorless camera, it doesn't have any noise when you take photos, but instead it creates an artificial noise with a small speaker to illustrate the fact that you're taking photos. So even if I set the camera sound to off and I take some photos, as you can see right now, you see the screen flickering, that means it takes photos, but that's not enough of a notice for me. So that's why I did add that sound, just so I'll know that the camera is taking photos. So I'm turning it to on, and you can actually change the volume of the sound from 3 to 1, and with 1 being the quietest, and then you get some kind of feedback, okay, which is enough to hear it with your ear if you're close to the camera. But of course you can also amplify, use a higher sound, and then you can also, if you want to impress others, you can do that. Yeah, that's a lot of photos. So my favorite features about this camera is of course the speed, which is really fast, the image quality and the viewfinder, because there is no blackout, so it doesn't lose track of the subject, and of course the focus system. For those reasons, this camera is the best available right now. And of course I highly recommend using it. So the good thing about it is that it's almost perfect. The bad thing about it is that I cannot shoot with anything else right now, because everything else just feels obsolete. I mean, I just shot with my other camera, and what's up with that blackout? I mean, why shoot with that when you can avoid it? So yeah, that's a big difference for me. So I'm Roy Galitz. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and write me in the comments below if you think that's a good camera, if you're gonna get it, and what are your thoughts.